Hi, my name's Rebecca and I wanted to share my experience of being a wheelchair user on International Wheelchair Day 2024. So I became a wheelchair user after suddenly developing complex regional pain syndrome back in November 2017. It's a condition which caused extreme chronic pain in both my ankles and my feet, so that walking even the smallest amount or having to stand for more than a couple of minutes became exceptionally difficult. And naturally, obviously, the less I was able to walk and to kind of stand for a good period of time, the more my muscles that support walking actually began to deteriorate. So it's kind of like this vicious cycle of muscle deterioration and pain, not supporting one another. And as a self-confessed shopaholic, I was really missing my shopping trips. I lived close to some big cities, so very much a shopping habit on a weekend, for example. I was really missing that. But I actually learnt that one of the shopping centres local to me, you could actually loan out a mobility scooter. So it kind of had this light bulb moment. I was like, oh, I should go check that out and see what it's like. It might give me that sense of freedom, an opportunity to have fun again that I'm missing. And it kind of be very similar to what it'd be like if I was to invest in a wheelchair. So that's exactly what I did. And it was an absolute blast. I really enjoyed myself, and I was like, right, okay, I am going to get a wheelchair, because a mobility scooter was way out of the question when it came to expenses of and unfortunately, my condition, everything was kind of self-funded. So I ordered it from, oh gosh, I remember very clearly. I ordered it in the morning, it came by the evening. I think it cost me about £150 at the time. It was silver, it was shiny, and I loved it. It was my wheelchair, it was my opportunity to have freedom and fun again, and I couldn't wait to get out and explore in it. So in the early days of being a wheelchair user, I remember I was sat in my parents' car. The radios kind of was on this, like background noise, when a piece came on actually caught my attention, and it was a wheelchair user explaining to the radio host how they compared having their wheelchair to having a Ferrari. And I think the words just really stuck with me. They kind of hit home. My wheelchair is my Ferrari. And from that moment on, I haven't seen my wheelchair in any other light at all. Like, it is my bright red Ferrari that I adore. So prior to having complex regional pain syndrome, I was about as active as you could get. So I could walk, I could cycle for miles, day in, day out, up hills, back down. I could explore everywhere and anywhere on foot or by bike. I could dance all night, and I could stand comfortably without even thinking about it. Yeah, you could do a whole night on your feet and I wouldn't even have felt it, if I'm really honest. Unless I was wearing killer heels, I really wouldn't have even thought about my feet and what I was putting them through. And obviously that all changed when I developed complex regional pain syndrome. So I needed a walking stick just to get around the house. I couldn't even imagine dancing for a couple of moments. Like, I just couldn't. And I'd often find I'd have to sit on the floor whilst waiting, for a delayed bus, or if I was stuck in a queue somewhere, because my legs just couldn't take it. If I was on overcrowded public transport, for example, and there's no seats that I could access. So having the wheelchair helped close that gap between my life before complex regional pain syndrome and my life with complex regional pain syndrome, because it took away those anxieties of, what if I can't sit down, or what if I get stuck in a queue, what if I can't find a seat. All of those anxieties that came with being disabled, the wheelchair closed those gaps, and it was like, oh, but I'll have my wheelchair, so I'll always have a seat. So I also kind of found it took away the humiliation that comes with having to queue by sitting on the floor when everyone else is standing, and they're looking at you, and you kind of have to explain, oh, I'm disabled and I can't really stand for very long. So it took away all of that, which is, was really great for getting me out and getting my confidence going out as well. So having the wheelchair for the most part meant I could really start travelling again, both locally and further afield. And it meant that I could be part of the action, the fun, what everyone else was doing. I could start to live life again without so many limitations. Having the wheelchair enabled me to explore cities, explore towns, villages, the countryside, the seaside, across England, across Wales, across Scotland. It meant also I could go on a girls' holiday to Barcelona. I mean, I've been on steam trains, I've been around zoos, I've been around animal sanctuaries, on cable cars, I've played junkyard golf, I've played shuffleboard, I've enjoyed meals out, I've explored museums, I've taken in the most breathtaking views at height, I've been around events of all types, and I've found peace and calm in tranquil gardens and country estates. And of course, I have enthusiastically shopped all day as well, and that's all because of my beloved Ferrari, my wheelchair. And it gifted me with the absolute privilege of next level compassion, empathy, care, love and friendship. Friends and family have pushed me up and down hills that even the most enthusiastic hikers would be worn out by, because they understood that a photo or Google Maps could never allow me to experience what it's really like to be somewhere. We've had strangers who have seen my partner trying to push me while trying to manage our luggage across Glasgow, and they've changed direction of their travel plans just to take the luggage off him and to join us in our adventure in trying to find the car. And colleagues who I've been lucky enough to call my friends pushed me around the office, around London, and they've brought in sparkly, eye-catching accessories for my wheels because they get that I could never just blend in, hence why my wheelchair would be a bright red, super fast Ferrari. And having my wheelchair, it's empowered me because it allowed me to reach and open doors I couldn't without it, both physically and metaphorically. When you see the wheelchair symbol, you see the physical aspect of what it kind of represents, but what it doesn't show is just how, for some users like myself, it not only supports the physical, but it also soothes the emotional and the mental aspect of experiencing having a disability. It's made me stronger, it's made me a better judge of character as well, because I haven't been immune from less kind acts, words and judgments in relation to my wheelchair. There's been very few and very far between moments where the worst in people has shone through. These moments, they've taught me as much about myself as about the individuals who have created those moments. And it's made me proud, it's made me confident, and it's made me self-assured. I know that my disabilities are my strengths, and for those that can't see that, it just highlights their weaknesses. It has made me more understanding, and it's made me more empathetic, and most importantly, it's made me really aware of other disabilities and health conditions, and it's been one of the many reasons that I truly love the disabled community that I am so proud to be a part of. I'm not a full-time wheelchair user, and I do use it less these days, but it is still my beloved Ferrari. Using this less and less, it's happened organically for me. It was never a conscious decision. It's just now that I have multiple disabilities, so my body, even with the use of the wheelchair, struggles to manage a full day out like I used to be able to. And also my complex regional pain syndrome is in remission. So I'm proactively walking more. And I'm doing more than I could have previously from a walking perspective. And I'm slowly building up the muscles that I'd lost in my ankles and my feet very carefully. And my confidence in my feet to carry me has sort of grown as well. So I haven't felt so dependent on the wheelchair recently, because I actually trust my body to do what I'm hoping it will do to get me, that 5 minutes up the road or the 10 minutes up the road, or that extra few steps, or kind of building up that momentum. And if I'm honest, I'm not really sure what the future holds regarding my Ferrari. And I really don't mind either way. I just know it is because of having access to a wheelchair. I have so many wonderful memories. It has opened up the door to the most wonderful friendships, relationships, encounters with strangers. And it's also closed the door on those who do not deserve entry. Because quite frankly, if someone is going to judge me and my situation just because they've seen me in a wheelchair, they don't deserve the opportunity of getting to see and be part of everything that's behind the wheels. It has been my path to freedom, to adventure, and to just one more shop, I promise. And finally, should I ever need a new Ferrari, I'm going to probably upgrade from the shiny and silver. I'm thinking I'll go pink and sparkly with flashing lights, and a shiny motorised engine might just be a must. Thanks so much for listening to my experience.